In a world where hopium and common sense collide, starring the CryptoKeeper and BlockchainCrusader. Welcome to Debate Crypto. Question everything, trust nothing. It's your boy CryptoKeeper, and we have the Crypto Crow and RiceTVx in the building. Crow, this is your first time on, brother. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm just ready to chill. I didn't even make a drink tonight. Maybe I should have.
Hey, listen, you could holler into the other room, babe, can you make me a drink, please? You know what I mean?
Yeah, we have to text each other in this house.
That's right.
we don't get to holler.
That's right. Rice, what's going on with you, brother?
Not much, man. Just definitely looking forward to the conversation. I appreciate being back. It's been a little bit since I had a chance to come on the channel, so thanks for the invitation, and definitely going to be a good one, man. I appreciate everybody for joining us in the live stream, and make sure that you guys are hitting that like button because it helps other people find the videos.
Do all the things. Somebody was telling me in the chat earlier that they were having a trouble finding the video this evening, and maybe with the title that I put on it, that might have had something to do with it. Either way, you already know what time it is. It's What If Wednesday, where we dive into, some would say conspiracies, but conspiracies in the past have been turned into truth in the past couple years in just a few months. So we're going to speak some truth, we believe, this evening, kind of dive into some of the topics that you've been hearing a lot, but maybe a little bit different spin. So stick around for that. Make sure that you guys are not, if you're not already involved in Danger Close Alpha, jump into the Discord. We're giving away 5 ETH. I don't know how to get people more excited than giving away 5 ETH. Like, guys, that ladies, gentlemen, that's like $6,000+ right now. And yeah, I don't know how else to get people excited, but jump in there, become a holder. It's free to get into the Discord. It's like a couple bucks to grab a gas mask, no big deal. But that mint is happening Monday. The mint that goes along with the game that we're doing for the 5 ETH is starting on Monday. So get involved, get in there. So follow Crow, follow Rice. Their information is down below the streams. Let's take a look at the market before we dive into this evening's topics. Let's just take a little peek, and then we will go from there. So the crypto markets are looking, dun dun. Let me update this. They're probably going to be red. Down 1.38% at 833.98 billion with the B dollars. We got Bitcoin still under 17 at 16,688. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just letting you know now, it is going to be boring, if not scary. I've been around for a bear market before, and just strap in. We might have some more bumps to go on the road. Let me just ask both of you, as it relates to, I'm not even going to go through the top 10. They're all doing the same thing, just flat or a little bit dead. What is, I'll start with you, Crow. What's your take on the market, man? Do we have a lot more pain to go, in your opinion, or you think we're kind of bottoming out right now? That much pain, bro.
Yeah, man, we got a ways to go. I know everybody wants to be hopeful, and they want things to turn around and their days to get better with better news. But yeah, I mean, I've been preaching for a while, man. Nothing's getting better anytime soon. 2023 is probably going to suck. You know, we're going to spend probably the first quarter of 23 just crying in our milk. And then the rest of 2023 is going to probably be sideways. And by 2024, we'll start pumping up a little bit as we get closer to the halving. And yeah, I'm hanging out. Oh,
I want to tell everybody.
My wife's afraid to get on camera. I asked if she could bring me a drink so that I'm like chilling with you guys. And she's like hiding.
You can tell her you got the green screen on, but she's more than welcome to welcome to jump on. So, you know,
she's shaking her head. No, she's not exactly wearing a public outfit.
Well, then that's every reason.
Might get even more viewers.
Every reason she should be on camera, man.
We might be getting more viewers.
I've met your old lady. She's a beautiful woman.
Yeah, she's stunning, but she's not ready for public consumption this evening, apparently.
So we thought we were going to get in trouble for the conversation. Ultimately, we ended up getting booted for lack of clothing on the.
Thank you, babe.
Proof of pants.
If you guys haven't followed, I want to throw this out there. I've been following Crow for a while, and Crow, I've never even told you this because I just haven't. But I got into Cardano at a much lower price than I would have, thanks to you.
That's awesome.
Drew my attention to it. Started looking into it. I actually was having a really hard time with Binance at that point, trying to get in. I would have got in a lot sooner than even I did, but that being said, just wanted to give you a little public shout out. Appreciate you for drawing my eye to that.
I appreciate that. And it's so funny because I actually was going through popular videos on my channel from before I got lazy for a year and a half. And I saw a video that I did when Cardano was 11 cents, and a whole calculation video where the price could go and how much it would cost, you know, at that point to make $1 million. And then if it gets to $1 and $2, I'm like, wow. So it hit,
I mean, you're buying at 2 cents.
Well, my first purchase of Cardano was at 33 cents.
But then you dropped it all the way back down to 2 cents and was buying there. I
followed the market up to $1.33 and all the way back down to 2 cents. And I just started sucking it up like a hungry hippo while everyone was calling it trash. I was like, you suit yourself. I'm buying it up, and had a lot of people that bought it up around 2 cents because I was going hardcore at that point.
Yeah. Well, that's how this market works. And for those of you that don't know, you've got to take some risk. These are risk on assets. You have to take risk as it comes, as it were with investing. That's just a fact. We're not financial advisors. We're not here to give you financial advice, but what we are here to give you is our experience. And I can tell you that for myself, I can probably speak for Rice, and you just heard it from Crow. Some of that risk is what ultimately turns out to be the best parts of your portfolio. Rice, what are you thinking of the markets, brother? It's been a little bit while since you've been on. Are you thinking that we have a lot more pain like Crow's thinking too, or no?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I do. I mean, just based off of kind of looking at the outlook of what the Federal Reserve is doing, what's happening on a global economic scale, and then looking at what's happening just within the crypto spectrum itself. I definitely don't feel as if the contagion of FTX is over with. I think that we're going to see some effects of this for quite some time. And the corruption, it just goes really, really deep. And so I really encourage people to really realize why you got involved in crypto, because this is an opportunity for us to really stand up and show the world what this community is about. I can see a lot of individuals, in a sense, decentralizing research and intelligence. I mean, look how much has been dug up on this whole FTX crew, and the majority of it has come from the crypto space. Even the initial releases of information coming out in each sort of media sources, I think CoinDesk was one of the very first entities to be putting this information out there. So I think it's an opportunity for us to police our space, for people to kind of really think about why they got involved in crypto and then solidify that. And it's time for us to build into that cypherpunk libertarian mindset that Satoshi brought with the original vision that crypto was created for, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I love that you're talking about kind of policing your own. So many times I think we in the crypto space become a little bit of it's like it feels like an echo chamber sometimes, but you have people that come in just following the wave in. They end up buying everything up on the top and then complaining and telling you that it is absolutely just a scam as it goes back down. When there's a lot of people that said, hey, listen, like there's some simple things that you can do. You can do something called dollar cost averaging. You can not roll dice with meme coins. There's a lot of different things that you can do, but get educated. And so I would encourage everybody to do that first. Get educated. I've got the Bitcoin standard over here. I feel like it starts with that. And then we are here as content creators to then help add to whatever that, education or form of that you're looking for. What were you about to say, Russ?
I mean, people just need to take, because like all eyes right now are on cryptocurrency. And when you look at this from other YouTubers and non-media sources that are talking about this, is a lot of negative speak going on with cryptocurrency, which is the reason why I'm saying us policing our space, us getting this information out is the best thing that we can do to show the world what crypto is and the power of crypto. Because as all of us know, and most people watching, this FTX scandal's whole situation has nothing itself to do with cryptocurrency, the underlying technology of blockchain and cryptocurrencies. It's a group of individuals who frauded and took advantage of people, and possibly deep corruption within the government and a lot of entities within those organizations. So I'm really looking forward to actually seeing how our legal system works.
Yeah. I will talk about that some more tonight. I'm not exactly confident that our legal system is going to show up and show out in this regard, just because of the figureheads that are involved. So without further ado, let's dive in. I want to start off with just a picture here. I'm going to share my screen right here. All right, so right here we have got, whoopsie, let me pull that back up. Sorry about that. We have got your boy Sam Bankman-Fried. Hold that thought 1 second. Let me come here, Boogie. Come here.
The one thing I will add is I don't think that this has been like, we can't 100% say that this is proven. We do know that there was a partnership between Ukraine and FTX, but as far as the funneling and money laundering, it looks very suspicious, but we don't 100% know, like without a shadow of a doubt at this time. What's up, little baby doll?
I've got little Addison on here. She wants to remind everybody, get your hardware wallet. We got a ledger link down below. You already know why you need to get a hardware wallet. If you're on here listening to us yap about FTX, you know what time it is. I love you. Good night, sweetheart.
And I'd like to give a quick tip to people because I'm working on this master course, and one of the I was just getting ready to start recording the stuff for my hardware wallets lecture. And recently I'm seeing a lot of people starting to pop up talking about their ledgers being drained. And, the one thing I want to tell everybody, do not use crypto wallets for any major sum of cryptocurrency, whether it's a hardware wallet, a hot wallet, or whatever. Do not use these things on computers. You do your day-to-day. If you're going to adult websites or basically any kind of website out there at all, and you're using the same computer you're using to connect your crypto wallets, your hot wallets, you're destined to lose it all. Just so you know, there's just too much phishing. There's too many people here. Check this link. I sent you something cool, whatever. It's all there, because I just saw a TikTok recently actually of a guy. He's like crying, like I do sometimes.
Oh, he lost like 50K on his ledger. I saw the same one, I think, this morning. Yeah.
Yep. And I felt so bad, and I'm like, the guy clicked some sort of phishing link or something, and on top of that, I'm like, I even asked him in his comments. I haven't checked, but I'm like, did you buy it from a third party on Amazon or directly
I asked
from
the
Ledger?
same question. I asked the same
Don't
question.
buy from third parties. Don't. And another
Never
thing people
buy a
can
hardware
use,
wallet from a third party. They will buy them in bulk. They'll hack them, input malware in sub 7s and things on it, and then seal it back up and sell it to you, waiting for you to use it and connect. And so
one of the best things I think that you can use, if you have like a burner phone, a phone that you don't use, or a tablet that you don't use very frequently, that's not hooked up, that doesn't have a SIM card in it, which is the most important thing,
iPod,
internet connection. Yeah, you can use that as I call it a poor man's hardware wallet. You download whatever wallet that you prefer using, that you possess and control your private keys, whether it's a Monarch wallet, a Trust wallet, whatever the situation is. You send your cryptocurrency to that particular wallet, you turn your internet off, turn your device off, and you've got a very, very safe device at that point.
Yeah. The hardware wallets, we've been preaching hardware wallets for a long time, and I think it fell on deaf ears for so long. People were just like, yeah, Keeper, I know you want us to go old school, you want us to this, that, and the third. And I was like, no, I genuinely didn't trust that these exchanges were going to always do right by you, and it's playing out, unfortunately. What's up, Crow?
I think he just froze, but I think he was grabbing a hardware wallet.
Yeah, he was. He was.
It doesn't look like it's a ledger, though.
No, it's
not. It's called an Apollo.
Pull it up again, because you
froze.
Your screen froze up really weird.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I know what that is. It's like Apollo with an O instead of a.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a touch screen, full color. I think they're like $200 a piece. I gave some away on my channel like a long time ago.
Pal's a good one. Cool Wallet's a good one.
Yeah, there's definitely
Arculus is a good cold storage source as well. So I mean, there's a Ballet wallet. There's a lot of different options that people can utilize. It's whatever works for their convenience factor. But there's a difference between convenience and security, and you really can't have a combination of both.
No, you really can't.
No, so that's where that you have to learn to put take your training wheels off of your bike and put your big boy and your big girl pants on and take responsibility.
That's a really good point.
For your
painful for you, it's a lot more painful for someone else.
That's a really good point, Rice. It's like, what, if I need access and I'm out and I'm like thinking like, oh shoot, if I really needed something really bad, I would physically have to get to my hardware wallet back home, get into wherever it is and do my, you know what I mean? It would be a pain, but it's supposed to be that way, ladies and gentlemen. If it is easy, it will be easy.
And
for
like
someone
Chris said,
else
the
or
harder it is,
easier.
the harder you make it for yourself, the harder it's going to be for the other side to try to hack you and penetrate any of your security.
For sure. So check this out. I want to dive into this. I started to pull this up and then I got sidetracked with my daughter coming in, so I do apologize. Okay, so this is your US tax dollars at work. Now, this is speculative, to be clear, for the YouTube gods. We are speculating here, just kind of looking at a tweet that I saw earlier, and I think it's something to look at. So we have the Democratic Party backing Joe Biden and money going into the Biden campaign. You have seen Mr. Biden and his and all of his cronies just absolutely funneling money in the form of humanitarian aid over to the Ukraine. Now, I'm not going to dive into whether or not I think that everything is legit over in Ukraine or this, that, and the third. We're not going to get into that right now. But what I'm saying is money for sure is going from point A to point B. So those first two things are for sure. Democratic Party funneling Joe Biden sending money over to the Ukraine. Now, the third part's true too. The Ukraine aids, like, uses our aid and partners with FTX. This is proven as well. Okay, that's why you've got Mr. Sam Bankman-Fried sitting there. And then coincidentally, Sam Bankman-Fried is the second largest donor to the Democratic Party. Actually, second largest donor to the Biden administration. I think maybe the largest. And maybe the largest donor
underneath the Jorge Soros.
Yeah.
To be careful with the language, because I don't want to get killed, because that dude's dangerous.
So let me ask you, gentlemen, as I pull this up, I'm going to take it down right now. But this, when you look at this, is flat out, to me, scary, because what it looks like is there is collusion here, and that basically all the way around that circle, it continues to, will continue to grease all of the same. Basically grease the same wheel and continue to, everybody knows that they're getting taken care of, and they're getting taken care of, and they're getting taken care of. What do you think, Bryce?
When you add in, then I would put one more picture in the middle, which would be Gary Gensler. When you add that into the equation, just from a government perspective, that corruption goes deep as fuck.
Yeah.
And Gary Gensler looks like he was somewhat compliant in allowing and helping FTX to basically.
Oh, you think he was complicit in allowing them to do?
It looks like it. It looks like it. And then you could spread it out further, but just that graphic that you showed, I would just add that Gary Gensler in that fact, and just that, and then you can even stem out, because you have Elizabeth Warren's daughter is an intern for the SEC. So and then you got to look at Sam Bankman-Fried's parents. Then you got to look at the people that were involved in Alameda, their relationship with Gary Gensler. It gets crazy. And then you add in that Dan Friedberg dude who's trying to scrub himself from the internet. And I think crypto community's done a great job to make sure his pictures staying available.
Man, I'm telling you,
all I want to know is this: if I were to run for political office, and if I decided to run as a Democrat, so I can basically just kind of sleep and party while everyone else is campaigning, if somebody ends up showing up at my doorstep playing a fiddle with horns and tells me to sign this and I can get whatever I want, like, I just want to know, how easy is it to run for office as a Democrat nowadays? Because you really just don't even have to try. Hell, you don't even really have to be able to string two syllables together properly. And so I've always kind of wondered, like, how do they make that possible? And I think more and more it's coming to light. Like, I'm starting to really understand. So if I ever, I get a lot of people on my channel telling me, Crow for president. I'm thinking, if I were to ever do that, I would take a completely different approach to Trump. I would run as a Democrat so that I don't even have to try. And it would just be like, okay, I've got to sign this paper and that paper once I'm in office. Okay, fine. And then I can just kind of hang back and play video games and run the world.
Yeah. The problem that I have with this whole, this whole map that we just drew out, the biggest problem that I have is that they put all, okay, so first of all, we're operating on a blockchain, right? You got a bunch of nerds that understand the idea of the blockchain. So they genuinely believe that no one is ever going to figure, like, we are just all 100% stupid, and that they can continue to put things out in front of our face. What I hate about it is they've been doing that in all sorts of different areas and arenas in life right now, and 100% full on getting away with it because of the media, because of the cancel culture in our society that I always harp on. And I think this is one of those things that we need to make sure does not get swept under the rug. This goes super deep, and we're going to dive pretty far into this. I've got some other stuff that I want to pull out, and I want to hear from you guys kind of what your thoughts are. But this goes way, way, way deep. And I think that what we're going to find out really quickly is that everybody's going to have some sort of a level of, you know, a little bit of protection in between them and the next person or the next thing to be able to basically have plausible deniability. But the facts line up that this was 100% a game plan. You can have coincidences, but you put a whole bunch of them together, and I think you end up with a game plan. And that's where I kind of get off, where I just don't, man, I don't appreciate being treated as if we are just absolutely ignorant, stupid people, and they can just push us around, steal our tax dollars, and do whatever they want.
I have to disagree on the sense that I don't really think that they think we're stupid.
Okay.
I think that they are just doing whatever they want because they can. I mean, think about it. Why are people robbing Walgreens? Why are people robbing stores in California right now and calculating it to make sure they're not taking any more than $900 worth of goods in any given trip?
That's a good point.
Because they can. They're doing it in front of everybody's face. They're just walking in casually, taking what they want and walking out because nobody's going to do anything about it. It's not about them thinking that the store owner's stupid. It doesn't really matter. It's the way everything is structured right now that nobody has to give a shit. Nobody has to be afraid of anything. They control the courts, the media, that they control literally every facet of any sort of recourse anybody would have. So why would they care? I think that the people that we like, that we say, they think we're stupid. No, it's not that they think we're stupid. It's half of the population. First of all, you've got the division that's further perpetuated by the media itself.
Oh, yeah.
That division plays its role because now you've already disconnected half the country from the other half, and you've got them infighting constantly over little details that don't really matter worth a shit. Then you've got the idea that, well, you have this kind of, I don't know what the right word is. Brainwashing that has taken place since, for decades, in institutions, in colleges, from college professors on down, spreading this Marxist message, this socialist message, making them think, hey, here's all the fine good points of a socialist society. Here's why you want this. Here's why this is important. Here's how it's going to change the world. Down with capitalism. Who cares if you work your ass off to make $1? That's capitalism. We don't want that. We want to be able to sit around, smoke weed, and basically get a check. And as long as we do what we're told, that check will keep coming. No offense, right? No offense, Rice. But it's this mentality that you shouldn't have to do anything of value to receive anything. That is ultimately the capitalist message. You provide value and receive value in return. The message that that's a bad thing and how people have been programmed to believe that that's a bad thing, that's what drives me nuts, So it's just the public education system, the college system, the indoctrination system has basically paved the course for where we're at right now. And those people are bought in 100%. Give us our check, give us our whatever it is that we want. And at the same time, give us our freedom. To them, freedom is being able to do whatever, not have any recourse for whatever it is that they want to do and how they want to do it. And to some degree, I agree. I think if nobody's getting hurt, everybody should be able to be who and what they want. That's what I think.
Yeah.
But it's when the freedoms and the liberties are only extended to one side of that divided metric. That's when I have a problem.
That's right. That's a really good point, Crow. I love that you just said that because they can. And my question to Rice will be, how do we start sort of like, do you have any thoughts on how do we get this back on track? And before you answer that, I want to show something real quick. You sent this to me earlier, Rice, and I want to pull this up and I want you to talk me through how we get back on track. And this is kind of part of it, I think. Interesting. Gary Gensler runs the media while reports to my office allege he was helping SBF and FTX work on legal loopholes to obtain a regulatory monopoly. We're looking into this. Okay. So as it relates to the Gary Gensler comment, combined with the state of because they can, how do we get to a state of they can't. And we're going to start making a change and get away from all of this just flat out corruption.
Well, I mean, what I'm hoping that we have, I mean, I've seen Representative Tom Emmer, you know, he looks like he's going to be looking into this, and hopefully other politicians are as well, especially those that are pro crypto. But at the same time, one of the things that we can do as a community is make sure that we're writing to our congressmen and senators and letting them know how we feel about the subject and how we feel about cryptocurrency and how we want to be represented. Ultimately, if we don't see any legal repercussions in any capacity, which there obviously right now, there's still, I mean, like, there's no reason that Sam Bankman-Fried shouldn't be arrested at this point, being held in some sort of custody instead of being able to be free in the Bahamas doing whatever he wants, sleep and play video games. This might come down really honestly to the people. You know, are you really ready to take a stand for the things you believe in? And we may have to look into our own legal recourse, suing Gary Gensler, suing the SEC as we the people against the government, because this is supposed to be a government for, of, and by the people. And it seems like we've gotten really off track with that. And things like this are pointing to a lot of the corruption. And if we can prove that there's corruption taking place within a Democratic Party, between other nations and the SEC included, and then looking at all the other corruption from the inside of what happened with FTX, if we can see some actual see this legal system actually work, it'd be a great thing. Otherwise, when enough people take a stand, nothing can stand against the people. And we can peacefully end this crap by just standing up. So it may come down to that. And I really encourage people to come together. I agree with what Crow said about us being divided. That's the one thing that we need to do as individuals, is to get rid of that division and find those common denominators that connect us and start standing together.
Yeah, Crow, you started to say not going to happen. We had a discussion a little bit before the stream talking about the Obama administration bringing propaganda back onto the scene. And essentially, for those of you who not heard me say this before, the Obama administration it used to be illegal to push propaganda onto the people through the news media. Now it no longer is. You know, they did that back in, I think, 2008, somewhere around there. And so I think since that point, I've seen things just absolutely roll downhill in regard to kind of some of the things that we're talking about. But what you said, Crow, was kind of, yeah, no way, we're not going to be able to stop this. Why do you think that it's getting so bad right now, and that we either aren't going to be able to stop it, or something terrible is going to happen that, you know, ultimately brings it to, you know, a point?
So hopefully my internet connection isn't shutting everything down in a really bad way.
You're fine. You froze a couple times, but you're good. You're good.
Okay. So here's the thing. Long before I ever even got into crypto. Okay. So just for full disclosure, I'm a Freemason. Okay.
Yeah.
And
what degree are you?
And I became a Mason years and years and years ago. My great grandfather was a 33rd degree Mason. Maybe more to it than that. I don't know. And for 2 decades, I've been researching everything under the sun as it relates to, you know, secret societies and all kinds of exciting, fantastic stuff. Big, right? And, you know, I recently just read Klaus Schwab's Fourth Industrial Revolution. And
great read, huh?
I read a lot. Okay. And
well, I'm just saying, I'm sure that wasn't a very exciting read, though. I'm just
No, it read more like a technical manual, I think, of ideas over anything else. But you know, how do I explain this? Because I touch on some of these things on my channel, but I never go too deep. This will probably be the deepest I've ever gone on any of my thoughts about any of this stuff on YouTube. Long before I even got into crypto, I used to think to myself, if we were ever going to excel beyond the norm, in other words, excel beyond what
they're trying to take down the Freemason.
Yeah.
No,
they don't want Freemason Crow spilling the beans here.
Basically, exploring beyond Earth would be a matter of pooling resources. It would be a matter of bringing all of the resources at a global level together under kind of one banner, not necessarily divided by countries and so forth. And quite honestly, the only way to effectively do that is to affect change that would only get worse before it gets better. And by that, I mean bringing global economies to a similar level, to adopt a one world currency, to then adopt a one world order. And I know that a lot of people are like, oh God, Crow's lost it. And I see these notifications all over that I'm losing connection.
So are you pro this? I mean, this is something that you're for ultimately?
No. Don't get it twisted.
I was trying not to, but I was starting to think that you were like giving a pro speech about this topic.
No. What I'm saying is, before I even got into crypto, these are thoughts that I used to contemplate. And like, this is what would have to happen in order for a lot of these things to come to fruition. What I'm seeing, however, I'm seeing a lot of this stuff happening now, okay, through the WEF and through these organized groups and through a very structured and organized agenda. The end mission or the end result could be positive, okay, which I know is against everything that everybody thinks and says. Because what
the
we're
idea
seeing
is positive, but the people trying to implement it, I don't
positive.
think
The method by bringing a lot of this stuff to fruition is not good. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Do I agree with the world
communism
coming together in unity and working together to excel beyond the earth as we know it, to explore new places and become a real life Star Trek? I think that sounds great.
That's like that Zeitgeist movie series.
Yeah, I've watched that so many times through the years.
And it is definitely a good idea to work towards those kind of ideologies. I definitely agree with you. I mean, there is good in a lot of these belief systems if you pull the right information. I mean, not everything that Karl Marx wrote in the Communist Manifesto was necessarily 100% negative. And true communism, which is I don't really feel has ever been put into practice.
I don't believe in communism. I'm not a communist.
I'm not saying you are. I'm just speaking open about how some of these systems work. But the idea of globalization,
anything that doesn't hurt people could be a positive thing. I believe that the change that they're looking to affect in their heads and on paper sounds fantastic. But and that's if you were talking about a finite reality. This isn't a finite reality. Reality is an organic, constantly changing, constantly evolving thing, right? And they're trying to control this by means of what I believe to be corruption, artificial influence, things that are against the very nature of what a living system or living organism or breathing system should have, right? It's like I don't know. It's like putting a chloroform rag over your face when you're trying to breathe, right? It's like maybe it's to put you to sleep so you can have a comfortable surgery, but the experience is really bad, right?
But the feeling. I didn't mean to cut you off, Crow, but it feels as if, and I didn't mean to cut you off. It feels as if the whole system is rigged. It feels like that there is a puppeteer behind the scenes, left and right, and controlling what they do, controlled opposition on one side versus the other, back and forth. Again, it's like teeter-totter, when ultimately, when we look at the things that the World Economic Forum, the things with CBDCs that are coming out, all of these things seem to push all towards this globalist narrative. So are you suggesting that you think on paper there's a lot of good things, that the idea behind it, or there's a lot of good things on paper that could come of that, but the reality of putting it into action is just not sensible and it's going to cause chaos?
I think that when you're in a position of power, like the majority of these politicians that are creating these effects, that are creating these bills and laws and whatever else they're doing, I think when you're in a position of power such that you've grown disconnected from society overall, you've kind of disconnected yourself from humanity, right? I mean, let's face it, to become a very successful CEO or a very successful politician, the majority of them are sociopathic. Okay. They're empathic-less, they're emotionless, and they're it's another day at the office. And when you look at the entire world in that way, it can create some very scary results when you come to a crossroads of deciding, like, ethically or morally, should you do this, or should you, sacrifice, crack a few eggs to make an omelet? That's the mentality of a lot of these politicians. And the ones that don't have that inclination take these different for this potential outcome, those are the ones that are ultimately scared into the line, right? Like these politicians on the left or here's the thing. I have sat down and I've gone through executive orders of every president since Kennedy.
Yeah.
To figure out, because right now we think it's all oh, the left is doing all this crazy stuff. No. If you go back all the way to Kennedy, a lot of the bills and the laws and the executive orders that have been put into effect to strip away freedoms of the populace, it's been a thing for decades. This has been an ongoing
from
effort
both sides
for decades. From both sides. It doesn't matter. The very idea of this two-party system is to establish and maintain a disconnect, a discord, if you will, a line in the sand to keep the people divided so that they can control the narrative for either side.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because we're all still moving in the exact same direction on a massive scale.
Yeah.
And so when I said, no, it's not going to happen, I'm saying this has been such a planned and well-orchestrated system of change for decades. It's just that now we're seeing all other countries in line, not just the US. And when all other countries are in line and ready to activate this change, well, there was somebody who was standing in the way of a lot of that. And a lot of people don't want to hear that. And they don't want to see that. And they don't want to admit that. Whether it was because of pompous arrogance or what.
Right.
There was somebody who was definitely standing in the way of this agenda. And you can't have that weak link.
That kind of put a little wrench in plans that they had too. And I look at it as like you had the right wing and the left wing of one bird. So it's people need to put that into perspective. And I agree with you, Sid Crow. Equality, the ideas of globalization, which, equality, an even playing field for all the different nations, an equal exchange currency, because that's a lot of our wars is things to that effect. If that's good, but with the direction and the people that seem to be orchestrating this globalization effort are doing it in a way that gives the governments and non-government organizations a hell of a lot more control and power with combinations of like digital ID, social credit, carbon credits, CBDCs, universal basic income, and it just spells trouble for everybody. So I agree. It's a duality in it because it's just like cryptocurrency and blockchain. It's both the problem and the solution. It's a tool, just, so it's a gun can be used to defend and a gun can be used to be offensive or defensive. So it's just a matter of we definitely, our country has come to a really, really pivotal point in history. And it seems like our government system is broken. And I'm hoping that more and more people are waking up to that so that we can change that, because there are organizations and people out there trying to do just that. And the more of us that are awake to those matters and the more of us that stand up, the more that we can actually affect change.
So I like that a lot, Rice. Let's talk about what always, and it always comes down to this, right? First of all, if you haven't smashed the likes, make sure to smash the likes. Make sure that you're following Crow. Make sure that you're following Rice. Jump into our Discord, Danger Close Alpha. If you're not already in there, somebody's going to win 5 ETH. So if you want to be that person, you got to get involved. 5, not 0.5, not 0.05, 5. So make sure that you guys jump in there. Kenton, thank you for the super chat. Says, great discussion. Let me pull this up. It said, great. Whoops, pulled the wrong one. My bad. Said, great discussion tonight. Thanks, Rice and Crypto Crow. Yeah, thank you, gentlemen. This is fantastic. So it's always follow the money, right? That's always
your coins and your freedoms.
say that
you
again.
Can't follow the money. Go ahead, Crow.
Oh, I just said crow your coins and your freedoms.
Well, I say you can't follow the money, some of the FTX money if it's all counterfeit, faked, and then the data was deleted too. So some of the money trail is we're losing scent, I guess, if you were a hunting dog.
Yeah. So that's a great point. That's kind of where I'm headed with this. Ultimately, it's always follow the money. Figure out how does this benefit somebody. right? We've seen in that little loop that I showed you earlier how it kind of benefited everybody and everybody benefited from it until there was a chink in the armor, and then all of a sudden everybody, are they going to turn on each other? Are they all going to have kind of like a thug prison mentality where snitches get stitches,
or a big giant polycule orgy?
Yeah, well, I don't know about that, but
they've been having that for years. I think that's over with.
I was about to say that's been going on. And so if we follow the money, it comes down to now, how do they control the money? So I want to pull this up real quick. This right here to me, and I think is the scariest thing that I can see coming up. New York Fed launches digital dollar pilot program with big banks. And if my screen wasn't frozen right now, that would be really nice. I literally can't pull this up. Come on.
I see it.
Yeah, but I can't move it. I just can't move it. It's not allowing me to.
What happens if you unshare and reshare? Maybe it'll.
Let me try real quick.
Got a glitch in the matrix.
Yeah, they do not want us having these discussions, I think. Let me see here. Let me try one more time.
No, but it does seem really odd that, like, while a lot of people are focused in one area, that all of a sudden that there's going to be this pilot program launch taking place.
This can't be
very convenient timing.
No, listen.
CBDCs are coming. The traditional stock market is going to be completely tokenized, and you're not going to be able to trade in the traditional stock market without going in and out using CBDCs, so they can track every investment you make.
Okay, so let's just go. Let's just go with it. So you're right, Crow.
On the spot.
You're right, Crow. So the blockchain is such a beautiful thing, but at the same time, it also can handcuff us. Right? We're all about it, but every positive, every action has a reaction. And I think what has been figured out here by our lovely government, whether it's just our government, the World Economic Forum, whatever, if they can now, because it's always follow the money, if they can just flat out control that money and have oversight on every single thing. What's the number one thing that has been used over time to launder money? Cash. Right? Because essentially, unless you actually have the serial numbers on the different bills, you can move cash without any sort of trace. So you would think, well, with all this corruption going on, they want to keep that. Well, I don't know. I think they gain more power from being able to, just like Rice just said, actively tax every single little thing that they can. They have 100% proof of anything and everything. And I think that I don't know how long it'll be, but the moment that they full on take cash away, there's no more, doing business on the side for,
No, it's like what's going to happen to all the drug dealers? What's going to happen to all the stuff that people are doing that they don't really want to be a public?
Well, they're going to be shell companies of some sort, but they're going to be taxed on it, right? They'll.
I think the government be a black market that we have, because it's good. I mean, it's going to be interesting because obviously politicians don't want to have all of their information accessible to government either. Now, it's not going to be an open, transparent system for us to see, but someone will have access to it and have access to everybody's financials, and that includes politicians. So
do you think it's going to be a private blockchain?
It would have to be for a CBDC.
It's going to be a private, centralized blockchain, of course. That only here's the thing: when this all starts really coming into effect, we're not going to need the IRS anymore. Because
so why they just hire 80,000 of them and hand them firearms?
Well, because we're not going to see a lot of this change effect until probably closer to 2030. And what do we do in the meantime? Well, we got to pay for all the spending of the left right now, because right now they're still building all the infrastructure to be able to manage all of these big changes that are coming between now and 30. Who's going to pay
those
for it?
Agents, though, are spread out for a 10-year period. And in the next 2 years, this is also research that I've done just to make sure that I'm covering shit correctly. It's a 10-year spread for the 80,000 agents. And then they're going to be losing half of their IRS agents within the next 2 to 3 years for retirement. So it's kind of, in a sense, they're not really upping the amount, but the purchase of firearms and ammunition is definitely something that we should be questioning.
Can I say one thing to be a devil's advocate for a moment, as usual? Let's go. I just had a conversation. Well, because some of you guys know that I launched a little series of Bitcoin ATMs back before I moved to Puerto Rico.
Yep.
Total waste of money, just so you know.
Crow
Don't bother.
TMs.
Okay. Crow TMs. I ended up giving them away. So, I mean, it was like 80 grand for everything that I had spent on all of that, but I ended up giving it away and writing it off. But I got like a letter from the IRS basically saying, hey, we just need you to follow. We need to follow up with you. We need you to send a bunch of data to us about everything you did with these ATMs. So I had to like go, I had my accountant, my compliance officer, I had all these people were getting all this stuff and we sent it to them. That wasn't even really the point. That was just the reason I was having the conversation. But I was talking to this guy, and he was super nice. Like he was very, very pleasant. It wasn't like he was trying to steamroll me. I know he was relatively new, but he was telling me that they still operate with fax machines. And he was telling me how like terrible their equipment is, and how like they're practically using calculators with the little wooden dollies on them. They're sliding back and
Atticus or whatever it's called.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh wow, well, it looked like you guys got some new equipment coming with it, a lot of new money that's being. So, but yeah, like we were having a joking conversation about how like inadequately equipped they are already. And so, you know, to be nice, like it sounds like they at least need new computers and like Digifax or some shit. Yeah, like I think that the days of the IRS, I think ultimately it's over, unless their role changes over time. I mean, their role could be more enforcement rather than like.
Yeah, like the people who don't have.
I'm already a little buzzed now.
They're taking you out again, Crow.
They're chopping you up and blocking your stream, Crow. You're spitting out too much truth over there. But I did hear you say I'm already buzzed, so we're headed in the right direction. I did catch that part. So
this is my wife right now. So she's actually sitting over here in my other desks in my office.
You'll have to thank her. You'll have to thank her for allowing us to steal you. So okay,
appreciate it.
So the CBDCs, you say it's going to happen. It's going to be on a private blockchain. We've got the IRS that is ultimately going to be either an enforcement arm in more in that regard, like you're saying, or they're going to start to fade out, right? So are we moving towards it feels as if, and we're seeing this with all the corruption.
But don't forget to add that everybody will have a Federal Reserve account, and the Federal Reserve will be the central bank, and you won't have a need for the other banks either.
I have one word. It'll wrap a lot of these questions up. It's going to be a technocracy.
Okay, that's kind of what I was wondering. Like, where are we? Where are we headed with this? We're just moving towards technology running and governing, just because everything's going to be so not private. Everything's going to be so open. You don't have basically an option for people to not know. Right? We have social credit score. They're going to see where you go. When you go there, they're going to say you can spend your money here, you can't spend it there. This is the money that you're going to spend. They can basically control the velocity of money, which is what runs our economy right now. That gives them full control over every single little thing that we do. And then we get into carbon credits. We take it one more step further, and they control where you drive, when you drive, how many flights you can take in a year. Is that really where we're headed?
Or then add in UBI. Add in Internet of Things, and then they just lock you out of your house.
Internet of Things and Internet of Bodies, which is the next step that I don't see a lot of people talking. Internet of Bodies is going to be a really big deal.
Internet of Bodies.
Curious in chat, like how many? You haven't heard of this yet?
Have you seen Microsoft? The Microsoft patent?
Come on, hit me with it. Hit me with it.
See Microsoft's patent though, the 060606, whatever it's called, that deals with body activity.
So this is a whole other rabbit hole. How many hours do we have for this? Let me ask chat real quick. How many people in chat know what a technocracy is? That's what I'm curious, because I'm of the belief that we already have kind of a technocracy established, and this whole democracy thing is basically just giving the public an illusion of choice. Like there is no real democracy right now.
Technocracy is a form of government in which the decision maker or makers are selected based on their expertise in a given area of responsibility, particularly with regard to scientific or technical knowledge. That's the
so
it's like Brave New World 1984 shit.
Yeah, that's
right. Yeah. I mean, ultimately, they already control Crow's bandwidth. I like that. Yeah, that's where I'm at in Florida. Unfortunately, we're not high tech enough in this area of Florida. I had better technology in Puerto Rico. So,
just couldn't keep the
a lot
power
of people
on.
are saying no. So people are confusing a technocracy with technology and government. No, it's not about technology necessarily. A technocracy is ultimately where, rather than have voted officials, voted higher office, like a president, a cabinet, and Congress, and the Senate, and all that's gone. That all gets wiped, because as of right now, we're seeing, as frustration builds with these elections and the way they play out, that it's all it's a big play anyway. Like, it's just to give the illusion of choice. There is no illusion. There is no choice anymore, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but ultimately a technocracy is basically like a Bill Gates and Elon Musk, all of the top people in their fields or their industries, basically working together in a panel, an unelected panel, that ultimately make decisions for the entire country. And it doesn't really matter because nobody has a say, right? And if you look at China and how China is structured right now, Singapore is ultimately like a very pure state of technocracy. People call it communistic. It's not necessarily, I mean, it is, but it's not. It's ultimately, it's a technocracy. It's a panel of people making decisions for the entire country with no elected officials. And if you see the way things are moving year to year to year to year, you can see this change being affected to where more and more trust is lost in our electoral system, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And we're going to get to a point where we're going to be begging and screaming for something new. And while a lot of us in the crypto space are going to say, put elections on the blockchain, they're going to say, how about we just get rid of elections altogether? Here are the people that are going to make all the decisions for us because they know best. And you can just go ahead and do as you're told. And if you don't, well, that check that you're counting on to come show up every month is part of this universal healthcare system or this universal income system we've established. You're going to get doxxed, and you might not get a check next month if you bitch too much on Twitter. And that's basically where I see us heading. So, and you know, with ESG,
like that Black
and
Mirror
social credit
episode
scores, and all these systems are already in effect in other places. It's just a matter of time until they go into effect on a global scale, which is just an extension of what we're already seeing happen right now. So, you know, when you said it all the way at the beginning, like, how do we stop this? We're not stopping this. There is no stopping this. All you can do now is hope you buy into something really, really good at the low.
We can make Project Mayhem a real life thing, Crow.
It's not going to.
How do we stop this?
You know what that would do? If Fight Club actually happened today, you know what would happen? It would just speed up everything by like 5 years, because everything probably would end up on the blockchain. Everything would end up decentralized or on centralized blockchains. And, you know, the data banks of all of the banking and credit transactions, that stuff's already backed up in some underground bunker somewhere anyway.
Yeah, that's the stuff that disappeared, and some big events that I'm definitely not gonna bring that up on the stream, but some big events that happened in our country that have covered up trillions of dollars missing.
The three of us need to definitely do this again.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm like nervous I don't even know what the hell I'm saying. I'm just some old drunk guy on the internet. These guys caught me. They told me, they said, Crow, if you don't come on live and talk all kinds of crazy shit, we're not going to be your friend anymore.
That's right. We said, if you
said
don't
a lot of really smart, intelligent things, man. I'm glad that you shared what you did share.
Yeah,
you made every bit of sense.
I want to hear, and both of you are, you know, kind of, I felt like my eyes have been open for a long time now, but I always get something new. So Crow, you've got me on some new stuff tonight. And every time I talk to Rice, he's got me on something new. So check this out. You just shot this over to me, Rice. I want to talk about this. Okay. So
Internet of Bodies.
Yeah, so Internet of Bodies.
Show the patent number and who did the patent. So the
patent number is W0200600606, and it says human body activity associated with a task provided to a user may be used in a mining process of a cryptocurrency system. A system or a server may provide a task to a device of user, which is communicatively coupled to a server. A sensor communicatively coupled to or comprised in the device of the user may sense body activity of the user. Body activity data may be generated based on the sensed body activity of the user. The system communicatively coupled to a device of the user may verify if the body activity satisfies one or more conditions set by the cryptocurrency system and award cryptocurrency to the user whose body activity data is verified. Are you telling me that they're going to use us as miners?
Zoom in on whose patent that is.
Where is it?
It's on the left-hand side.
Applicants right here.
Yeah,
it's probably Bill Gates. Yeah, Microsoft. Now look up Smart Dust.
Oh, so what'd you call it? What'd you say?
Smart Dust.
It's good,
Smart
man.
Dust.
Smart Dust. It's the new thing, man.
While I pulled
all the kids
up,
are doing it these days.
They sure are, aren't they? Especially if they have purple hair. And if you don't do it, you're really a bad person.
Smart Dust is a system of many tiny micro electromechanical systems, such as sensors, robots, or other devices that can detect, for example, light, temperature, vibration, magnetism, or chemicals. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that would be exactly what he's talking about. That's what I'm saying. The three of us should do this a little bit more regularly.
And the thing of it is that Smart Dust is small enough to be injected into a system and replicate itself to build whatever kind of systems that's deemed necessary.
And it could be put in the air, it could be put in food, it could be put in liquids.
So are we suggesting that the government, or just flat out saying that the government will have the ability to utilize us as human beings in some form or fashion to effectively do and complete tasks at their beckon, and that's going to be what's going to almost pay and advance our livelihood?
We will physically be the battery in the Matrix, basically, without being like put inside of a cocoon device capsule and put to sleep.
Have you not seen my Twisted Times NFTs where I have one called Future Employment?
I have. Yeah. I've seen them before, but I guess I didn't put that together.
Oh man, you see, you got, like I always tell you, got to read between the lines with me, man. You know, like my entire Twisted Times NFT collection is all about this shit.
And he goes deep. I know you had talked about doing something non-crypto conspiracy related. I know that you're very passionate about these subjects. Yeah. And you do a lot of intense research, man. This is why I'm enjoying the conversation.
No, I want people to, I feel like so many people are asleep at the wheel. I feel like when I have conversations, I listen, I'm the guy, right? I'm the guy at the family event or the family dinner that gets the, the side eye. Like, what is, I thought he quit doing drugs years ago, right? Like, I thought he gave that up a long time ago. And I'm like, I did. And also, as part of that, I woke the heck up and realized that I'm not in a fog anymore. I'm not walking around like a zombie looking for the next one. And I recognize that, like, we are being controlled from every single aspect of our lives. And I think that it starts with money, but the whole idea behind controlling the money is just simply controlling us. And what I've been trying to figure out, but I just haven't found, the answer is, how do we pull ourselves as a race of people, as United States? I was in the Marine Corps, and we would die for our brother next to us without questions asked, right? How do we as people bond together and have that kind of a relationship where we say enough's enough, and we're not going to allow you to push us into this matrix that you already have us 3/4 of the way into? I don't know. I just really am searching for that, I guess, is what
you want to know. One of the reasons anyone that's watched my channel for any number of years since 2017 knows I get pretty emotional sometimes. And, one of the reasons why I have been so passionate about not just cryptocurrency technology, because it sounds stupid, right? Why would somebody get emotional about, oh, get this project because it's going to change the world, and you got this 7-foot tatted up ogre getting like teary-eyed, right? The thing of it is I don't get political on my channel very often at all, and I don't say exactly what I feel on my channel often at all. I typically play devil's advocate, but here's the thing. One of the reasons why I am so passionate about trying to educate people, and I give it all to people straight up, is because right now, the vast majority of us are chattel. We are meaningless to the people that control the strings to everything we see on a daily basis. And the only way to rise above that status as chattel is through wealth building. And so not only is it's, to me, building wealth in crypto and being able to position yourself in a better place isn't just about being able to afford a Lambo. I don't have a Lambo. I couldn't fit Lambo on my
I was
foot.
Going to say you're
so
not getting in a Lambo, bro.
You're big ass.
Nah, you're not getting in a Lambo.
But it's more about building a foundation, and I say a lot about building foundation. Building foundation for me is about being able to separate yourself from those who just don't give a damn, and they're willing to follow whatever flock is leading them over a cliff. If that is their decision, then that's fine. That's on them. But I try to educate people as best I can about ways and methods to be able to change their life and position themselves outside of the potential reach of some of these things, right? And that's one of the reasons for it. Because there, if you look up chattel, not cattle, chattel, it is
CHATTEL.
Exactly. And so many of us in society are exactly that. We're chattel. If you are just working a 9 to 5 and you've accepted your fate,
or goyim, depending.
Well, I'm not Jewish, so I don't really use those terms, but
it seems like that's treading a careful conversation, but it seems like
I know a lot of politicians could be considered a meatus.
Chattel's a catch-all category of property associated with movable goods. At common law, chattel included all property other than real property. Examples include leases, animals, and money. In modern use, it only refers to tangible, movable personal property. But basically, you're saying we are the chattel.
Yeah,
exactly.
This is how our debt-based system works. Is you need chattel, and we're the participation. We're the chattel. We're the energy.
So let's kind of wrap this up into a bow, right? We all on this stream agree and listen, if you haven't smashed the likes already, crypto fam, make sure that you smash that like. Hopefully you guys have had fun on this What If Wednesday. Make sure you're following Crow, make sure you're following Rice, and make sure you are involved in the Danger Close Alpha 5 ETH competition that's getting ready to start here soon. Let's wrap this up into a little bow. So we live in a world right now that is pushing us further and further into a state of mindless control, so to speak. Without getting too wild with it, that's essentially what they want. They want you to do anything and everything when told to do it, just because the government told you to do it, and it's for we're the government and we're here to help type of idea, right? They're now pushing into the realm at which they could possibly achieve that because, in my personal opinion, of the money. They're finally going after the money, which happens to be the root of, you always hear people say it's the root of all evil. Well, even without saying that, it is what controls people's every single day life. And the problem is we live in a world right now of not even we don't even have fractional reserve banking right now. We have fictional reserve banking, right? After COVID, we no longer even have, the banks don't have to hold a fraction of what the deposits are.
It's just like real life Monopoly game.
It is.
We're all live action role playing.
It's monopoly money, and the Fed says, "Oh, I can control this. I can control society by printing money. I can control society by raising and lowering interest rates." But guess what? That is coming to a head. We owe too much money. We are ultimately, if the dollar gets too strong, we are crushing other economies. The only way I see us getting out of this is the Great Reset, which is where it feels like they're pushing us anyway. So. Does Sam Bankman, here's what I want to end it with. Does Sam Bankman, kind of where we started, does Sam Bankman-Fried ultimately get away with this? Or is he going to be, or was he a pawn by the government all along to work towards this narrative of getting rid of crypto as we know it and pushing us towards CBDCs?
Okay, I'll go ahead and answer first. I think that if we're able to get enough information out there and enough people are actually looking into the right thing, we can make sure justice is taking place. If we don't, then I think that it would easily be swept under the rug because of all the associations and dealings and potentially how deep this goes and potentially how much it could expose.
Yeah.
But I think we have an opportunity now to get enough information out there that you can't put the cat back in the bag. You're going to have to deal with reality, and you can't sweep this under the rug because we're not going to let you.
Yeah. I think a lot of people get hit in the face with reality all the time. And I would think that they would change their views on things, and it doesn't happen. So I still think people are asleep at the wheel. But Crow, what are your thoughts on the matter?
So I'll be real honest with you. I didn't even hear your question because the internet connection was so bad. I don't know if it's my end or not.
I basically wanted to know if
but it doesn't matter because I've got an answer for you anyway because I can read your mind.
All right, go for it. Let's see what you got.
You know, so let me just tell you this: either one of two things is going to happen. Either Sammy Boy is going to end up in the same part of the dimensional existence of Epstein, or you know, quite frankly, I don't really see anything happening to him. I mean, if I'm honest, I mean, he could be used as a scapegoat or not. I don't know. I don't even really care because ultimately I know that billions and billions of dollars were mishandled and lost, but I think it all served the purpose that it was all intended for. And so it was a pat on the back, job well done. You know, we're going to put on a show for everybody to make them believe that you're getting really wrung over the ringers, but ultimately you'll be fine. We're just probably going to give you a haircut. So outside of that, you know, as much as I would love to think, you know, oh, we as a people united, we're going to be able to, we're not united. We're not going to be united. The differences are too vast. The brainwashing too strong. I have had conversations that have extended years with some very brilliant individuals who are so completely and utterly brainwashed to their own perception of reality that there's no telling them anything. And it doesn't matter. I got into a conversation, an argument once where he said, show me some proof. And I pulled proof right off of the government's White House website. And he argued it.
And then
I thought, so it doesn't really matter. You don't really want proof the same way that a lot of the arguments that are posed by people who see things differently, let's just say that, can't provide proof because it's not about that. It's not about facts or reality, and everybody's perception is their own personal bubble. And these perceptions of reality are based off of algorithms that we suck up day in and day out on all of our apps and websites and everything we love to see. So in the grand scheme of things, while I would love to say things are going to get better, I don't think they're going to get better. I think we're in for a very rude awakening as things continue to transpire over the coming years. And all you can really do is try to educate yourself as to the whys and hope things get better at the end of this tunnel. But I see the tunnel continuing to get dimmer and dimmer until all these little kinks have been worked out on a global scale. And it's kind of like that scene in Roadhouse where Patrick Swayze said it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. And it in fact does. And then someday the bar ends up clean and everybody's hot and fun and drinking and having a good time. And hopefully we end up there. But I'm not all that. I'm just trying to do what I can to educate people and live the life I can in the meantime.
Well, I first of all, I appreciate both of you for being on here. This has been a great conversation. You already know we already have fun, crypto fam. So again, smash the likes, follow these two creators. But I want to actually finish with you guys, you personally. Rice, I'll start with you. What do you have going on for the people? I think you've got a newsletter going on. You've got some other stuff that you're doing. What's going on with you?
All right. So, I definitely encourage people to head over to my website, RiceTVx.com, and sign up for my mailing list. And once you do that, you'll find links to my 2 channels. RiceTVx is now going to be focusing strictly on crypto, economics, and politics. And then I started a new channel, Rice Against the Grain, to cover the fringe topics, going down the rabbit hole of conspiracies, continuing my law studies, the legal fiction, spirituality, alternative, and hidden history. So I encourage people to make sure they're subscribed to both those channels. Subscribe on Rumble and Odyssey, but most importantly, sign up for my mailing list so that you can stay up to date, because I'm dealing with some, like we were talking before we went live, we're dealing with so much shadow banning. Most of our subscribers aren't getting notified when videos come out. They don't even know that we're continuing to put videos out. So in order for me to have communication with my community, my newsletter and signing up for the mailing list would be the best way people can do that.
It's a shame that's happening, but I totally know that it's happening. We even see it on our channel as well. You can literally tell from one platform to another. Put out the same video under a different name. We've tried that, and the views are vastly different. But Crow, you just started a social media platform of sorts. Can you talk to me about that? What was that?
Yeah, so well, I want to also let everybody know I just started a new OnlyFans account. It's called 7 Foot Pole Position, and I hope you guys really enjoy my content moving forward.
Are you going to team up with Ken Bozak for future collaborations?
Kidding it up. I don't even know what that is. I just made it. It actually made me chuckle while I was listening to Rice. No, it's called Sobloks. It's SOBLOKS.com. And it's basically a social media platform that we've been developing for a while for the Cardano blockchain. And it's in beta, and we're adding new stuff pretty much every few days to every week. New features, new functionality. There's a link for the governance section. And in that is the light paper that kind of breaks down all of the functions and features and how we want Sobloks to form, like kind of the overall goal and the mission, how we want content to be handled, and yeah, all of that. So I think we're definitely going to be submitting a proposal for Catalyst. So all of my Cardano holders out there, I need all the Cardano I've had you buy over the years to get stupid rich. I need you to use them to vote for my project so I can pay my developer. And hopefully it goes really well. There's a lot of stuff, man, that's coming. I mean, it's going to have a lot of features and functions, and primarily it's going to be focused around blockchain and arts and creativity, and basically giving people the ability to empower themselves and others to have a voice that isn't centralized. If it's legal and it's not vulgar, we're all for it. Share your voice, share your opinion, and that's pretty much it. But that's Sobloks.com.
Sobloks.com. So check it out.
Social
again, guys.
Block on the blockchain.
Social blocks on the block. Yeah. So guys, it's been a great stream. Another What If Wednesday has been a success. We got 89 people in the house, so I'm expecting at least 89 likes. If you haven't smashed already, if you're in the mobile and you're like, I can't figure this out because it's been so long since I've been to YouTube and seen Debate Crypto, X out of the live chat, smash the like. It takes about 2 seconds. You can come right back. That being said, just remember, question everything, trust nothing. And until next time, hodl like it's hot. We will see you soon.